All right, hashtag Chad. 5 feet to win the U.S. Open.
Okay.
Ha-ha! I don't know what the big deal is. It's not that hard to make on broccoli and cauliflower.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure that's what Stinson was talking about, but whatever. Anyway, don't you have a show to get to?
Oh, live show? No script? What could possibly go wrong? All right. Let's run around there. I'm back. All right. How are you? Good to see you guys. All right. How are you? Thank you. Nice. This is a nice crowd. This is a nice crowd. Look at these guys. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thought I tricked you a little bit when I did the lap around here. I think that was my personal best. I'm Harry Arnett. You guys know that. Who else would I be? This is Callaway Live. And it's a Father's Day post-U.S. Open show. Did you guys like watching the U.S. Open yesterday? A little bit? Little controversy. We mentioned that last week. There was going to be a little controversy around this golf course. And sure enough, it was. Some complaints, some conversation about it. New broadcast team. Tim Brando talked about that last week. A little out of breath from my lap around the thing there. Need to get a fitness program up here at Callaway Golf. We have a scoop for you today. And I think we're the only entity, media company or otherwise, that can make this claim. That is, live via phone, we have a very special guest, and this is a scoop. The day after the U.S. Open, we have the Chambers Bay Golf Course on the phone right now, live from University Park in Washington. I know. It's great. So let's go live to Chambers Bay. I think we have you on the phone here. Chambers, how are you, sir? Really good to have you on the phone. Thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us tonight on Callaway Live. How are you?
I'm thirsty. Really thirsty. Need some water?
I bet. Thanks for joining us, Chambers Bay. And what do we even call you? Chambers Bay or golf course? What should we call you?
Well, you can call me Mr. Chambers Bay, site of the freaking 2015 U.S. Open.
You're looking a little yellowish, a little crusty, a little dried out and brown yesterday. How are you feeling today about that?
Well, you're really going to go there with those glasses? If this were my show, I wouldn't be bringing those up.
You are a little crusty. A lot of conversation about course conditions, particularly the putting greens. Do you have anything you want to say about that to some of the people that may have been critical to you?
I found everything they had to say so helpful. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Now, here's a little advice for you. There's a shuttle leaving here every 20 minutes. Be on one of them.
A lot of other comments, too, about how the USGA had you set up, general course conditions. Do you care to say anything about that tonight for our audience here?
Hey, Tour Pro, you don't like my greens? I think your shirt's ugly. How about that?
One of the big conversation topics is, will the U.S. Open return to the Pacific Northwest at Chambers Bay sometime in the near future? Would you like to have the guys back?
I'll consider letting them come back, but I don't know if I need the aggravation. You know what I'm saying?
We absolutely know what you're saying. We know that you're busy. Thanks again for taking the time out of your very busy schedule. We know you have some recuperating to do. Thanks again, and great Open. Appreciate you coming on the show tonight.
Hey, Harry, thanks for having me. I really, really love the show. And sorry about the glasses comment. I'm feeling a little tired, cranky, defensive, all that stuff. But, hey, by the way, do you really have Johnnie-O on the show tonight? I love that guy.
Yeah, he's right here. He's going to be right here after the break. So thanks again for being here. Thank you guys for being here. We'll be right back with Johnnie-O right after the break. How did he even call?
What are the similarities and differences between Chrome Soft and a Balata covered ball? Interestingly, I actually get a lot of balata questions. So before the tour ball of choice was a urethane covered ball, it was actually a balata covered ball. Balata is kind of a rubber-like material, it's very soft. So what that did for you is it gave you a really soft feel and a lot of spin around the greens. People loved that. And Chrome Soft is the exact same thing. The difference is that the balata covered ball keeps spinning through the bag, and that completely robs you of distance. Chrome Soft is different. Off the tee and with your longer iron shots, Chrome Soft actually reduces your spin, which is increasing your distance. It also keeps it straighter and more accurate. So, what the balata didn't offer you was a total performance ball through the bag, and Chrome Soft totally accomplishes that.
Hi, I'm Morgan Pressel, and you're watching my favorite golf internet talk show, Callaway Live with Harry Arnett.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right, welcome back. I'll tell you, one of the cool things about doing this particular show is we get a lot of cool guests that come in here. And our guest philosophy is we're going to have people on the show throughout the whole season, a lot of which you'll know them. You'll know them. They'll be household names from entertainment, from golf to media, et cetera. And some of the people we'll have are business leaders or people that maybe you haven't heard of, but after you see them on the show, you're going to be really happy that you learned about them or got to see them talk to us here on Callaway Live. And you're probably going to know the brands that they represent. Tonight, I'm really excited about the guy we have on. He's a creator of one of the hottest brands in lifestyle. They definitely have golf products as well. He's an innovator in the space. He's as authentic a golfer as you can get. Local guy up in LA. Please welcome to our show tonight, John O'Donnell of Johnnie-O. Hi, how are you? Look at this guy. I can't believe it. Let's see it. Hey. Johnnie-O. This is crazy. Standing ovation.
God.
How about the standing ovation?
I got to tell you, now I know what my little brother Chris goes through on every few months.
You're related to that guy?
Yeah, well, Chris.
I couldn't tell because you don't look anything alike.
Yeah, I'm sure. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for being here.
This is amazing. I saw the first show a few weeks ago, and I looked at it and I thought, this is a real deal. And they want me on it, and I'm thrilled to be here.
Well, we wanted you on, obviously, because we're going to talk Johnnie-O in a little bit. But
yeah, that's kind of boring.
You're also, yeah, exactly. You're also a guy.
What's with the coffee mugs? Why
coffee mugs are green.
I mean, they're such props. There's like nothing in here. I mean, come on.
We had stuff in there earlier, and we drank it right before the show. What'd you think of the golf tournament yesterday? As a guy, I mean, you got to be a guy that's glued to your set on these things.
Of course, I thought it was great. I'm from the school of, play the course as it is. And, the players are so fortunate to be there. And I think they think that, too. And I thought Mike Davis and Tom O'Toole did an amazing job in the USGA. And, if the greens are bumpy, the greens are bumpy. But talk to some of the players from the 50s and the 60s about bumpy greens. It's part of the game.
A bunch of us growing up playing nothing but bumpy greens.
Yeah.
So any green that actually had anything that looked like grass was once on it is pretty good for us.
I thought it was great. I thought Mr. Bay was a hell of a good guy.
Do you like him?
Had you met him before?
I've never met him. I was just curious how he dialed the phone. I have no idea how he did that.
Great guy. Really a good guy.
So when you heard all the players commenting yesterday,
yeah,
were you like, hey, just
shut your yapper
and play some golf?
Kind of. But, I'm Joe fan. But a few of them I was like, you know what? You're so fortunate to be out there playing for truckloads of money, and life could be worse than a soft spike mark. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You saw a bunch of players kind of even talking themselves out of enjoying the experience even before they teed up.
Well, someone was telling the story about Jack Nicklaus in years past when he would hear players complaining about the condition of the golf course, the weather, whatever it might be. He would just immediately write them off as they're not a threat to win the event. So I think it's, these sports psychologists probably tell these players, embrace the elements, embrace the bad breaks, because while they're getting bad breaks, they're also getting good breaks. They don't talk about the guy that hits the thin shot that lands on the front of the bank of the green, kicks up and rolls to the back pin 4 feet. So good breaks, bad breaks, it all shakes out.
Are you a fan of taking these kind of events to big public access facilities as well?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I don't think it opens the game up. Unfortunately, it's $300 to play Chambers Bay. What I think would be cool, and I think
sneak on. It's not for me.
I think Black Wolf Run, it's expensive to play too. But how about a course where, it doesn't cost $300 to play? That might be cool.
Yeah, I agree. We can
Davis
do it.
O'Toole, you listening?
Listen, we'll send it to him. We can play it right here at Rancho Carlsbad across the street.
You know what? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. A little 3,200 yard Muni.
Yeah.
If they want to talk some, how about that?
Love it.
It may not identify the best champion, but it's close to where we live, so we like that, right?
I love it, but I'm all for it.
I love the fact, and I know we were talking a little golf course off the show here.
Yeah.
I like that they're setting the tone that a golf course doesn't have to be completely perfectly manicured and green all the time to be a world-class
Well, I think
test.
they categorize the golf courses too much. In other words, it's okay for a British Open to have bumpy greens or, whatever it might be. But a U.S. Open course has been so dictated through the years to have narrow fairways, high rough, fast greens, even par wins. I think it's okay for the U.S. Open to look and feel like a British Open from time to time. So,
especially if it's
feel.
showcasing the best of what golf is in America and the variety of what we have here in America.
And if
too.
bumpy greens is the worst thing these guys have to deal with, then that's a pretty good life.
You can't argue with the champion either.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, he's pretty good.
Well, are you saying that we shouldn't shut everything down because we had to play on a little bit of a bumpy green? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Bring it back to Chambers. I'm all for it.
Really?
I'm all for it. Absolutely.
Well, that's a little bit of I don't think that's controversial, but I don't think you get a lot of players wanting to go back there anytime soon.
I think they would do a lot of facelifts to the golf course before they brought it back. I think they'd get the greens where they want them. I think they would figure out the whole spectators. I heard it was tough for spectators to walk the whole course. I think they'd figure that out. By then, they might have those little machines that people stand on and wheel around the course. Maybe some rope tows.
I like that. I like that. Maybe by then, it's because they're talking about maybe 2030 or so. Maybe they'll have like little hovercrafts or something.
They plan so far in advance. It's like 2030. Are you kidding me?
We'll be alive.
I know.
Then. What are you talking about?
Of course we will.
Why is he looking at me? What are you saying? I don't look that bad.
With a physique like
I
that,
don't look
you got
that
at least
bad.
3 years left.
You should have seen me run around the set earlier. I was impressing the audience here with my laps.
I think it's important to have it in different regions of the country. Pacific Northwest, great area. It's spread the wealth. There are a lot of people that play golf up there.
It's interesting because we've been pretty blessed here on the West Coast. We've had a bunch of West Coast venues in a while. If you think about Torrey and then Olympic and then
Riviera.
Riviera, Pebble, and
Yep.
then obviously there's some talk that it may be heading up to LA again sometime in the next 5-10 years. That would be awesome.
That's what they're talking about.
You can't say anything. I know you have
that's what
nothing
they're
to do with
talking
that.
about. Yeah.
Greasing the little palms. But that's great. And then it's funny because next year, totally different experience at Oakmont, which will kind of get a lot of the talk away from what's this golf course all about.
I can't believe it's getting so much negative chatter. It's crazy.
You're a guy that actually has tried to enter and get into some of these, right?
I hate to announce this, but 3 weeks ago played in my first U.S. Senior Open qualifying. We're not going to talk about the age. Yeah. And when I was...
That's why I love having the elder statesman on the show here to talk about what was that like?
It's so bad. Well, I carry 6 hybrids now. And no, I'm kidding. It was great, but it was so wild filling out the application. U.S. Senior Open. I'm like, God, I'm officially a senior now? This is nuts. But it was great, and I went up to a nice golf course, missed the cut, but I'll be back.
Back, so this is going to be something you're going to try to do from here on out?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What do you think the key is for
it's
a qualifier?
It's not lightning in a bottle, but these are 18-hole qualifiers for this one, so you go out and play a solid round, you're in. I mean,
you have obviously a business that you're trying to run and creating a brand, et cetera.
yeah.
How do you
it hasn't helped my golf game.
I was going to say, how do you even have time?
Hence my 80 in the qualifier.
We weren't going to tell anyone that.
Yeah.
But how do you even have time to practice? How
You
do
know
do
what?
that?
I'm fortunate to have access to a range that's relatively close to my office. So this time of the year, when the days are longer, I can get out there and beat some balls. But I'm not playing as much competitively. And for people that know, competitive golf is different from hitting balls, playing on Saturday with your buddies. But I still have the fire, and I love playing. I love competing, and it's fun. I'll keep doing it.
Well, that's what I really felt even watching this when you mentioned it's a lot different when you're having to make a 3-footer that matters, or you have to hold it out rather than your buddy saying,
I know.
I felt nervous over every 3-footer that these guys had this
That's
past week.
why when Dustin was setting up to that last putt, and I knew he put a pretty good soft stroke on it, but I said to someone standing next to me, I said, now he really needs to lag this, because this is not like if you hit it 3 feet past the pin, the hole at Augusta, where you've got really smooth. A 3-footer at Chambers was a challenge. And when that went 3 feet by, I thought, this is no layup.
Yeah.
And, you know.
And you
so
can't even, in that situation, and I can really relate to what they were going through, because we play a lot of, high-stakes matches around here at Callaway.
Yeah.
And I remember once playing #Chad, and we had a little $3 Nassau going.
Yeah.
And I had about a 4-footer on 18 to close him out. That's $9, man.
Yeah.
And you can feel what, in that situation, he's feeling his heart is exploding out of his chest. You can't even feel your hands.
Does Callaway Live cover that match?
Yes, we did. As a matter of fact, it's live streamed on my own Twitter feed.
Nice.
So that was good.
Hang on a second. I'm going to get a quick sip of my coffee.
Quick drink of coffee. Well, while he's taking a sip of his coffee, we're going to be right back, and we're going to talk a little Johnny O with Johnny O right after this.
Well, it wouldn't be a special U.S. Open edition of Chad's Tiny Studio if there weren't a bunch of broccoli and cauliflower sitting next to me. I'm Chad Coleman, and this is Chad's Tiny Studio. So, about the U.S. Open. If you were on social media for about 1 second at all this week, you would know that the real story going into the U.S. Open was the golf course. Some loved it, and, well, some wished that it would float away into Puget Sound. Mr. Player, as you might have heard, was part of the latter crowd. Can you imagine what he would have said if he knew that the USGA was serving bacon-flavored ice cream in the media center? Speaking of Mr. Player, hopefully you noticed those classy Callaway staff bags and head covers our guys were sporting. They were designed specifically to commemorate the 50th anniversary of Gary Player winning the career Grand Slam, and for about 69 holes, they seem to breathe good karma for fellow countryman Brandon Grace. Now, although the South African didn't win, he still deserves a huge round of emoji applause for his T4 finish. All right, that's it for me. I got to go practice my 3-footers for a much less significant golf tournament coming up. Remember, if it's cool and it's on the internet, you'll probably find it here in Chad's Tiny Studio. See you next time.
That's good coffee. How did you get the idea to start this brand? I'm so jealous.
Yeah, you know what? I'll keep it short and sweet. It was, I'm not even a clothing guy, but I grew up in Chicago, real preppy kind of upbringing. Then I went out to UCLA, and all of a sudden I'm introduced to like this whole surf culture.
What brought you to UCLA?
They just, I wanted to be a Hare Krishna, and you smoked a lot of grass. No, it was just totally random. Totally random. That's a whole other story. But I just felt like there was a need for a kind of a Southern California polo horse, if you will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of the, we call it West Coast prep. I was quizzing you earlier.
Yes,
before
I knew that.
we went on. I just felt like there was a need for a, I hate using other brands, but sorry Ralph Lauren and sorry Bob McKnight, but Polo meets Quicksilver, where, they kind of meet in the middle. And I started chipping away at it, and here we are, 8-9 years later, and a couple dozen employees, and it's really going well.
But you sort of started as sort of it wasn't a full-time deal.
No. I kept my real job, as they say. I was in sales for a financial printing company, and I started
That
Johnnie-O.
sounds riveting.
It was amazing. we
Financial sales in printing, printing, or running your own lifestyle clothing brand. Wow,
it was off the charts.
Yeah.
But I was able to moonlight, and so I was doing kind of early in the morning, late at night, and I started to see that Johnnie-O had a little traction. So I brought in a partner to help me out. We raised a little money, friends and family, and it just kind of kept going, and we're really doing well.
What do you see for the brand next, 2-3 years?
There's a ton of growth in all of our product categories. When we started out, it was a big, polo company, and it was, polo shirts. But now we've become multi-season, where there's more outerwear and jackets and pants and a little bit of workout gear, but just more of a general lifestyle brand. We try to match kind of the rhythm of our consumers' lifestyle, you know what I mean? And we've got some pieces coming out that kind of speak to what people are doing that time of year. We've got a cool pair of, for example, this fall we've got some khaki shorts coming out with fleece lining and the little bottle opener affixed to the belt loop, and they're called johnnie-O-Tailgaters, because we all know what people are doing in the fall. And it's not like it's an innovative fashion breakthrough, but people identify with, yeah, that's what I am doing. I'm going to either a high school or college football game, we're tailgating, and I'm probably drinking a cold beer. So I'm buying those. So
that's what we were talking at lunch, and when I first sort of stumbled upon your brand, and you had, this is, 3-4 years ago, and you had a sweater. I'm a sweater guy, as you can see.
Yeah. You don't have it on. You've got that real open.
I was trying to show off my $35 tie here to the group
nice.
here. But you had a sweater that I bought one of, and then I ended up buying every color you had, which was sort of a high V.
I told you, we called it the high V.
The high V.
Because you see, you've got the old Brooks Brothers, which is nice, but you're not 80 years old. Yeah. And then, the crew necks when you wear a button-down shirt, they get a little tight around the collar. So I said, let's kind of meet again somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about somewhere in the middle with this shirt. I guess in the next segment when we talk about new product innovations.
We've got some great ideas for you. And I also love, speaking of shirts, when I told the guys around the office, hey, we're going to have John O'Donnell on the show and Johnny O, and they was like, oh, he's got the secret button.
Yeah, the tweener button.
The tweener button.
It's big time. Do you want me to go into it now?
I want to hear about the tweener button.
So all guys out there especially, but girls even, but guys, when you wear a button-down shirt, and if I came out like this, you guys may be sitting there going, this guy's a little too buttoned up, a little too stiff. But if I went for the next button down, it would be like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
So I don't know how much you can camera in on this. So right between the second and third button, I have a separate placket and another button. It's called the tweener button. So now I can button that. Now I have two buttons unbuttoned, but I don't get the full flare that some of the guys out there are wearing. Do you know what I mean?
I don't want to. I want to say this in a completely unweird way. Can you show me that again? Wow.
It is. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's breakthrough.
The tweener button.
Because the guys sitting in the bathrooms in the bar, they're on a date. They're like, I don't know. Do I go with this? Or do I go with this?
Yeah.
This solves it.
I go full 5 buttons down. Are you saying that's not the right way to go?
And it
tweener
looks
button?
Good on you.
I need like 4 tweener buttons, it sounds like.
And our tagline is make sure you activate your tweener. And so kind of makes sense.
I like that. Well, you guys are innovating, especially in the lifestyle space, which is so hard.
Yeah.
And we thought, hey, if you're here,
yeah,
we'd love the opportunity to pitch to you some ideas that I know you're trying to grow the business, and we think we're a pretty good innovation company here.
Yeah.
And so I just want to throw a couple ideas out your way and see if you like them.
Ideas.
So, so we can take a look right here.
All
These are a couple. This is a wearable sun protection. Really big right now in golf, obviously, with the sun this time of year.
Wow.
And you see this now. So these are actually hose extensions you can put on your golfer tan feet.
Yes.
And for your dads who like to wear shorts and they really shouldn't because of their legs, these are extenders that go all the way up the legs.
There's no way that guy didn't have a pedicure because no one's feet.
No, that was our local, that was our resident foot model here, AJ Volpel.
Yeah.
And then, these really are billion-dollar ideas. You probably saw like the valuation that Fitbit just got.
Yeah.
$3-4 billion for wearable technology is huge. We thought we got to bring some of that to golf. Like you said,
wearable technology.
Understand the golfer. So here's some ideas we have for wearable technology. When this is for the millennial in your life, this is the emoji shirt. A lot of times they don't like to be asked how they played that day. This is just an emoji shirt that just tells you exactly how they played that day. And there you see, it's like, I know. There you go. Didn't play so well that day. So you don't even need to ask him how that went.
I love it.
And then we think this one has a lot of opportunity. This next one here, Don't you hate it when guys are always coming up to you like, hey, can I have a tea? Like you're in your routine.
Right.
This is a little tray that goes right on the back of your hat.
That's perfect.
I could see a Johnny O logo right there.
You know what? If we could replace the Callaway logo with the Johnny O logo.
Yeah, $1 billion idea.
$500 million.
Yeah, co-branded. We can do co-branded ideas.
Hang on a
reach
sec.
back there. You got that? Nice swig there. Okay, this next idea. Don't you hate it when you're playing with 3 guys and then they throw the random single out there and you can never remember his name? This is a little inner ear device attaches right to your visor that reminds you
Actually-
the guy's name if you ever need to know.
kinda
So then
looks
you know,
like-
hey, nice shot, Mike. Like that? It's wearable technology.
It's great.
The guy's name's always like John or Joe.
Yeah,
isn't
right.
It? Yeah,
right.
You're easy to
Just
remember.
go with Bud. It always works.
Yeah, or man or dude.
Nice putt, Bud.
All right, and our last one really is probably, I think this literally is $1 billion idea. You know the guys that are wearing white belts that shouldn't? You know these guys?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so this is an alarm that goes on the belt that if you're too big or too old, it sounds the
Is
alarm.
that Johnny R?
Yeah, that's Johnny R right there. So there it is. It just sounds the alarm. Too big, too old.
That's great.
Any of these ideas resonate with you at all?
I think this one, although his shaved forearms are throwing me for a loop.
Well, let's just be glad that's all we're seeing on him right now.
I'm thinking the tees. The
Yeah, you
little
like that one?
platform, You
Okay.
could put a little shrimp cocktail in there.
Co-branded. I love
If
that for the
someone's
party
hungry,
circuit, for the
yeah,
champagne circuit.
I like it.
So how do we, assuming that we're going to not see any of these ideas
Yeah.
show up in the johnnie-O catalog, where do people find your brand?
You
Because
know
I know
what?
out here we see all the time.
We are in a lot of shops around the country, 500-600 shops around the country. Everything from private country clubs to specialty shops, resorts, hotels, beach clubs, of course, online, johnnie-O.com. We're out there. We're out there. And I think the general public, the best place is probably the website. And it's
I go
fun.
there. You know that I'm one of your loyal
Well, when you
shoppers.
come into the website, we have a little thing that goes up and goes, he's back, and we pump up the prices by 20%. But
I felt like that was happening.
keep shopping,
It was
buddy.
so affordable, though. You guys are great.
Yeah.
So did you ever think when you got this cooking, when you were kind of moonlighting, that you'd be at the point you are now?
No way. I mean, I'm sitting here doing this, and I'm honestly thrilled to be here, and I feel very fortunate and lucky. You guys keep thanking me. Thanks for coming. This is nuts that I'm doing this, and I'm having a blast with it. And to be able to put my name on it, and I think the most rewarding thing is that, you know, I have a new son who's 1 year old,
Yeah.
and that someday maybe he'll look back or with his kids or grandkids and say, you know, that was my dad.
Yeah.
That's what's really neat about it.
Do you have little Johnny-O
His name's
logos
Jack.
on him?
His
Yeah.
name's Jack, and someone sent me a logo shirt, and they were like, "Hey, Jackie-O," and I'm like, "Nah, it's not going to work." First of all, it's probably already trademarked, and secondly, it's
Kind of bad luck.
Yeah.
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 Well, hey.
So it's great.
Again, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We really appreciate it.
Love
That's
it.
Johnny-O from Johnny-O.
Thank you.
Next week on Callaway Live, we have John Lieberman from the Howard Stern Show. We'll be right here on Callaway Live. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We'll see you next week. Yeah, buddy. Love that, man. That was fun. Hang on a second. Yeah, I'm sitting right there. Whoa. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Robert, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Thanks. Well, partner, how are you? Thank you. Thank you. We're going to high-five that out. All right. High-five. No, we're high-fiving. We're high-fiving. You like high-five?